So today's topic will be on date functions, and if you are able to finish all the functions, then we'll go with conditional functions as well. Date functions, these functions are actually used on dates. So suppose if I have a date, then how will I work on that? Right, just go here, I'll explain. Suppose I have the data, something like this, a day, month and year in a separate column. In that case, how will I actually combine this and convert this into date? In our previous session, I told every date will be stored as a value or say number. Now let's say 1. This is also a date. So how will I know this is a date? So always the date in Excel starts from January 1st, 1900. When I say 1, this will be that date. I can go and just format this to a date format. So this will show me January 1st, 1900. From there, the date actually starts. Now I have this day, month and year in a separate column. I want to combine this and convert this into date. There is a function called as date, say equals date, and it lasts 3 parameters: year, month and day. Say year, comma, month, comma, day. Say enter. So this will get converted into date. Right. Let's go to this date value. I told you the dates are actually stored as value. Now, if you see this data, it is actually a text, a combination of say 2010 as 4 characters of year, and 08 as month, and 03 as day. Now I need to convert this into a date format. So what we'll do is, first we'll convert this value into a text format by using a function called as text. And this text function we have used in our previous session. I'll say equals text, select this value, comma, and I'll say 4 zeros, hyphen, and 2 zeros for month, again 2 zeros for day, and say enter. Now this will convert into this format. Now this is a text format. Now what date value will do is, it will convert a text value into a date value. Say, for example, I'll say equals date value, and I'll take this date which is as a text. This date value will take this date as text and then convert into values like this. Now suppose if you want to convert this into date, I can say Control 1, I can go to this date and I can convert this, and this will become like a date format. Next we'll go and see this day. Suppose I have a day. I want to extract day out of this year. I can just say equals day, select this. I can get the day out of it. Month, say equals month of this. I'll get the month. I'll get the index number. That is August is 8. Suppose if I drag this down, I'll get the month index number out of this date. Let's go to this year. Suppose if you want to extract year out of it, I'll say equals year of this, say enter. I'll be extracting year out of it. Next, I have a function called as today, which will help me in extracting today's date. I'll say equals today, open bracket, close bracket, no parameter for this. I'll say enter. I'll get today's date, that is the system date. Next one is EO month, that is end of month. End of month means I have a date here. I want to know the last date of this month, the end date. I'll go here, I'll say equals EO month. I'll select this date, comma, it lasts for a number of months. When I say 0, that means it is the last date for this current this month which I have selected. So it will give me the 3rd August 2010, it will give me 31st August 2010. Now if I drag it down, I'll get the selected month's last date. Suppose I want to get selected month's previous month's day, last date, I'll say -1. That means 3rd August, it will give me as July 31st. If you want the next month, make it as 1. So it all depends on the index number, what I actually mentioned here. So suppose if you want to get the previous year's last month, say 12. So this index actually specifies how many months, last date I need. If you want to get the first day of the month, then I can go here, say equals EO month, select this start date, I'll say -1. It will give me the previous month's last date, and then I'll say +1, that is the next day. As I told you, the dates are actually stored as values. Now I'm just taking this value, I'm saying +1, that is, it is showing me the next day. So this is the last day of the previous month, +1 will be the next day, that is first day of the month. Next, let's come to this time. Time is similar to the date function what we used here. So here I'll have hour, minute and second in a separate column. If you want to combine this, I'll say equals time, and I'll select this hour, minute, second, and say enter. So this will give me the time if the values are in different columns. So suppose if you want to extract hour, minute and second, then let me go here. I'll say equals hour of this cell, it will give me the hour. Suppose if you want second, equals second of this one, it will give me the seconds. Suppose if you want minute, I'll say equals minute of this. End. So this will help me in extracting hour, minute and second from a time. Right. I have a function called as now. This is actually used to get the current time. Like what we have today. Today will give me the current date. Now will give me the current time. And now open bracket, close bracket, it will give me the current time. Next, weekday and week num. Weekday will give me the weekday's serial number. Say for example, I have this Sunday as 1, Monday as 2, so it goes on till Saturday as 7. Now let's go here, equals weekday of this date is saying 2. So it will give me the serial number or say index number. The Sunday is 1 and this is Monday. Let's drag this. If you want to check this, let me just copy this and I'll put it here. Let me change the format. I'll go here, I'll say custom, just make it as day, DDD, so it will show me like this. Anyways, this changing of the formats, there is a separate chapter which is called as number formatting. There I'll be telling you how to change the format of it. Just for your confirmation, I'm just using this so that you'll understand how this index number will come. Next one, week num. What week num will do is it will give me the week number throughout the year of the date. When I say week num, in a year we have 52 to 53 weeks. Now I want to know in which week this date falls in a year. Equals week num, and I'll select this, say enter. It will say 4. That means it falls on 4th week. Let me just copy this down. See, it will give me the week number throughout the year. There are other formulas, say net work days and work days. We'll see what these two will do. Let me take a date that is 1st Jan 2020 and I'll say today's date. So there are two dates here. I want to know the number of working days between these two dates. So I can use this net work days, say equals net work days. It lasts for start date, let's say this one, comma, it lasts for end date. I'll select this and say enter. There are 98 working days. When I say 98 working days, it is ignoring Saturday and Sunday. That is, the number of fixed days will be from Monday to Friday as a working day. But what if there are some holidays? Let's say 15th Jan 2020 is a holiday. Then again 26th Jan 2020 is a holiday. Then let's go and take one more date, say 24 April 2020 is a holiday. So I given 3 days here, which is holiday. So these are also non-working days. If you want to consider this, then what I'll do, I'll go here, say comma, it says holidays, and let me select this. So these also will become a non-working day. Say enter. It says 96, wherein -3 was supposed to be 95. Why? Because one of these days might be Saturday or Sunday. Let's go and check. Again, I'll say one of the days Sunday. That means this anyways is actually considering as holiday, and here these two dates, or say these 2 days, are considered as holidays, and it is saying 96 -2, not 96 -3. Otherwise, if I say -3, then this date, whatever is there, will be considered as twice. That is 26 Jan will be considered twice as a count. But not always I can say that it will be the working days as from Monday to Friday. What if I want to customize it? Then for that, we have something called as net work days international. So equals net work days int. When I say intl, I'll say tab. Now it lasts for the similar kind of parameters here. Say start date, end date, and now it lasts for the weekend. Let's say my working days will be Monday to Saturday. Then I can go here. I can say 11. That is Sunday only. Close bracket. Enter. See, there are 117 days if the working days are from Monday to Saturday. Now, what if I want to consider this holidays? Let me go here. Say comma. These holidays are optional. I'll go here. I'll select this and say enter. See, again Sunday is ignored. Now, suppose if it is 25 now, this will change because we have ignored Saturday here, but here Saturday is still considered. So this is net working days. Then what is work days? I'll just put it here, net work days. Now let's go and see work days. Work days, what it will do is it will give me the final date. Say for example, I'm starting a project on January 1st, and the project number of days will go up to say 45 days. These 45 days are actually 45 working days, not just 45 days. Now, if you want to know the deliverable date or say final date from January 1st plus 45 working days, then I'll say equals work day. It lasts for starting date. I'll select this, comma. Then it lasts for number of days. I'll select this. Say enter. Now this will be my deliverable date or project completion date. So the project deliverable date or project completion date will be on 4th March 2020, considering Monday to Friday as my working day. Now, what if there are some holidays here like this? Then I'll go here, comma, and I'll select this holidays, say enter. Now it says 5th March. That means considering this holidays as well. Now, what if the weekends are not Saturdays and Sundays? Then I can use this, say equals work day, sorry, international intl. Then I'll say start date, number of working days, and say now I can select the weekend, Sunday only, and I'll say this holidays and say enter. See, the project might get finished sooner because I'm working on Saturday as well. So it will be on 25th February 2020. So if you increase this, let's say it will go up to 70 days, then this also will get changed. So these are some of the date functions what we have in Excel. Right. Let's go to conditional functions. Conditional functions are actually a kind of functions depending on a condition I should get a result. The condition in the sense, the condition can be anything, it's a criteria. So based on that I should get a result. If the condition is true, I'll get a result. If the condition is false, I'll get another result. Let's go and see how it works. I have a total sales here. Here the question says, if the total sales is greater than 10,000, I should get excellent, otherwise it should be poor. I'll say equals if this value is greater than 10,000, then I'll say excellent, else poor. Enter. Now if this was greater than 10,000, here it would have been shown as excellent. But let's see, let's copy this down. Now you can see wherever the values are above 10,000, I'll get excellent. Let me change this to 12,000. Automatically, I'll get this excellent. Fine. Let's go to the next example. This says nested if. Nested if actually works when you have more than one condition to be checked. Now in this case, the question says, if the sales is greater than 5,000, it should be excellent. If the sales is greater than 2,000, it should be good. That means from 2,000 up to 5,000, it should be excellent. If it is greater than 5,000, it should be excellent. And if it is 2,000 to 5,000, it should be good. And next criteria is, if the sales is greater than 500, then it should be average. That means from 500 to 2,000, it should be average. If none of these conditions are true, then it should be poor. So how to do this? Say equals if it lasts for the logical test. The first logical test or say criteria is this value is greater than 5,000. If it is greater than 5,000, if the condition is true, then I'll say excellent, comma. If it is false, that means it has to go to another condition here. I'll say if this value is greater than 2,000. So what will happen? It will check this condition. If it is true, it will execute this and it will come out. Otherwise, it is going to this condition. And here it says good. If this condition is also false, then again there is one more condition, say if, and I'll select this, say greater than 500, then I'll say average. Else, if none of these conditions are true, then it will go to false statement. I'll close the bracket. So each bracket will be for each if statement. See, this one bracket is for this if statement, then another bracket is for this if statement, and one more bracket is for the first if statement. You can see the color coding of the if statement as well. See here, there is one color which matches here, again red color, again black color. I'll say enter and I'll get this result. Let me just drag it down. See, so depending on the value, I'll get the result here. Now let's go and check. I'll make this as greater than 5,000 and it should be excellent. The value from 2,000 to 5,000, it should be good. So let me make it as 3,000. It is saying good. Anything from 500 to 2,000, it should be average. I'll say 1,080. It's coming as average. Anything less than 500, it should be poor. So like this. Right. Let's come to the next function, that is sum if, count if, average if. Also, we have two more formulas which got added now in the recent versions, that is maxif and minif. So what is this? We'll go and see. Let's come to this sumif. We know the sum function. What sum will do is it will give me the total, say sum of this range. Say enter. I'll get the complete total here. But now what I want to do is I want to add the total for only north. That is, I have this north here, or I can just go here, filter it, say filter, I'll take this north, and I should add only these values. Right. I cannot go here and say equals this plus again search for north here somewhere. Again, I'll say this plus this. So this will take a lot of time, or I might miss some values also. So in this case, what I'll do is I'll do the sum, but based on some condition. So for that, we'll be using this sum if equals sum ifs. Read the parameter, it says sum range. What sum range will do? First, we should select the sum range. That is, on which column I'm trying to do the sum. I'll take this range from here till bottom and I'll press F4. That means I'm making it absolute because the same range will actually get copied to the bottom as well. Say comma. It lasts for first criteria range. That is, on which criteria I'm actually checking the range. When I'm selecting the next criteria, make sure that we'll have the same number of cells what I've selected for this sum range. I'll say criteria range 1. I'll go here. I'll select this. I'll press F4 so that I'll get this range. This is criteria range, comma. It lasts for criteria. I'll just select this criteria. And I'll close the bracket. Say enter. Now in this range, wherever I have north, that will get added here and will give me the result here. Now I'll just drag it down. So the reference whatever I had given here, H8, will change to H9 here and H10 and H11. But this range, that is for sum range and for the criteria range, will not change because I made it as absolute. Fine. This is for one criteria. I want to check for multiple criteria. In that case, I'll go here. I'll say equals sum ifs. Now it lasts for the same parameter. It says sum range. Let me select this. Say F4, comma. It lasts for criteria range 1. That is for the region. This is the first criteria. Let me select this region. Say F4 and say comma. It lasts for criteria. That is this. So this is what we did in the first example as well. Now I want to check based on department as well. So what I'll do, I'll say comma. It lasts for criteria range 2. Then I'll select this criteria range 2 and say F4. That is the department. Say comma and I'll select this department. I have this criteria range here and I'll select the criteria. And the second criteria range will be department. I've selected this, comma, I'll select this department. Say enter. It says 0 here. No worries. That means in north, we don't have any human resource. Let me change this to another department and see. Yes. Now, if you want to check whether this is actually giving me the right result, I can still QC this. So what I'll do, I'll go here. I'll say filter. And then I'll take this north. And then say sales. If I add this, see it's giving 2,71,000. I should get the same result here as well. Let me remove this filter and we'll go and check this. See 2,71,000. Now if I copy this down, I'll get this result. That means for East marketing, I should have this much. So this is sum ifs. So this ifs condition on this operation, so what it will do? So sum ifs will give me the sum based on the criteria. Let's go and check this average if. Average if is similar to your sum if. Sum will give me the total. The average will give me the average values. The average is what? The total divided by the count. Let's go and check here. The parameters will be same, but the result will be different. That's it. Now here I'll say equals average ifs. Now it is asking for average range. Previously, it was asking for some range in some ifs. Now it is asking for average range. Now the average range will be this one. I'm just selecting this. Let's say F4, comma. It will ask for criteria range 1, that is this one. Let me select this. I'll say F4, comma. It will ask for criteria, that is region. Close the bracket, say enter. This is the average of north region in this criteria. Let's go to another example. Here I need to have multiple criteria. Let me just give this department as sales, and here let's say equals average ifs. Here it says average range. I'll select this range F4, comma. It will ask for criteria range 1, that is this region F4, and then it will ask for the criteria, that is this one. I have one more criteria to check. I'll say comma, and then we'll select this criteria, that is the second criteria. Say F4, comma. I'll select this. Say enter. Now this average ifs, what it is doing, it is trying to take this first criteria and the second criteria, and then it is giving me the average of these two criteria. Let me drag it down. I'll get the result for each region and the department. Right. Next one is max if and min if. Max ifs and min ifs are the new functions which have been added in the latest versions. Let's go here and just say headings, and I'll just try to increase this. Equals min ifs. So what this min ifs will do is it will give me the minimum value in the range. It will ask for minimum range. I'll go here, select this range F4, comma. It will ask for criteria range 1. I'll select this criteria and say F4, comma. Then the criteria, I'll select this region, say enter. This is min ifs 1 condition. Now only for north I'm getting this 68,000, or I'll just keep it here. If I have multiple condition, then I'll say equals min ifs minimum range, that is this range, say F4, comma. Class for criteria range 1, then again same thing. I'll go here, I'll take this region F4, comma. It asks for the criteria, right, comma. It asks for the second criteria, that is the department. Select this, say F4, comma, and as for criteria, I'll select this, say enter. Sorry, criteria range 1, range 2, top. So this is the minimum value. I'll say control. So within these two ranges, I'm getting this result. These were multiple selections. Next, max ifs equals max ifs Again, it asks for max range. I'll select this complete range. I'll say F4, comma. It asks for first criteria. Again, same thing. I'll go here. I'll select this region, F4, comma, and here it asks for criteria. Select this, say enter. So this will be the maximum value in each region. Let's go here. Say equals max ifs for multiple criteria. Say max range. I will select this one. Say F4, comma, criteria range 1. Let me select this criteria, F4, comma, then this is the criteria. Next, criteria range 2, that is department, F4, and then I'll say department, say enter. So this will be the maximum value, the combination of these two criteria. So this is sum if, average if, max if, and min if. Suppose if you want to do count, let's go here. This count if, what it will do is, it will give me the result how many times the selected criteria is repeating in the range. I want to know how many times this north is repeating. Or sometimes what will happen is, I want to know an employee how many times is repeating in a range. So for that I can use this count if. I'll go here, say equals count ifs. It will ask for criteria range. So now it will not ask for count range like what we have, the sum, average, minimum, or maximum. So that's why I just took this in the end so that it will be easy for you to understand. When I use count if, directly I have to go to that criteria range, F4, comma, then I'll select this criteria, say enter. Say now when I go here, north is actually repeating 8 times and east is repeating 12 times. Let me just change this east to north. If I change this to north, one count should come down here, one count should get added here, see, like this. Right. Suppose if I have multiple criteria, let me just put it as sales here. I'll say equals count ifs, the criteria range 1. I'll select this, F4, comma, and the criteria, comma, criteria range 2. I'll go here, I'll select the department, I'll say F4, comma, and I'll select this. The combination of these two, that is north and sales, is repeating 3 times. Previously I was just taking only one criteria, so north is repeating 9 times here. But when I go here and say north and sales both together, how many times it is repeating? That means it is 3. So if you want to count anything, I can just go here, I can select this, and I'll get the result like this. This is for doing the operations with conditions. Now there is something, the if error. What this if error will do, let's see. Suppose if I have some errors, if you want to give an alternative value for that, if there is any error, what should I do? Let's consider like this value divided by this value. I'm getting some result. But same thing, if I copy this down, I'm getting an error here. And also I'm getting an error here because I'm trying to divide a number by 0. So this will be learning in our next coming sessions, how to handle this error and what are different type of errors. But as of now, we'll just think that there is an error, how to handle this by giving a condition. Now when I get this division error, don't go and manually put some 0 here, 0 or something else, because here when I'm manually doing some corrections, this will become values instead of formulas. Now suppose here some values get changed, so I'll not get the result here unless and until it is a formula. So how to handle this? So whenever you feel that there are some errors which are coming and I need to give an alternative value for errors, then I can use this if error. Let me delete this. My formula is equals this divided by this. Let me go here. I'll just cut this. Say if error of this equation, that is this formula. If I'm getting any error for this formula, then I'll say value if error. I can say any value there, say 0, or you can give a text. I'll put it as 0 as of now. Let me just copy this down. See, and let me make it a blank value. So wherever I just have the 0 or blank value, here it will give me 0. That means alternative for the error. It's not always it should be an number value. It can be a text as well. Say invalid. Now wherever there is an error, I'll get this invalid. So likewise, I can actually use the if error, so that if there is any error, I can give an alternative value for that error. So this if error works for any errors in the Excel formulas. Right. So this is our conditional functions. Now we have one more new function, that is ifs. Let me go here. If I have multiple conditions to be checked, we have if, say ifs. So here it asks for logical test and value if true. Instead of using this nested if, say if, then again one more if, I can go here and I can use this ifs. How this ifs will work? It asks for logical test. Let's say this value, or say this cell is north, then the value is true, I'll say n. Just I'm giving some conditions, say comma. Now again it asks for logical test, so it is not asking for another if here. I'll say this value, say logical test, say this value equals east, then e. Again one more logical test. I'll say this value equals west, then w. Then one more logical test, that is this value equals south, then s. Close. Enter. See, let me drag it down. So if this value is north, it is coming as n, say east e, west w, or s, like this. When I double click on the C, if I would have used nested if, then I'll say if h8 equals north, then n. Again one more bracket, then again I'll say if h8 is equal to east, then e. And again one more if, then again one more if. So it goes on. But now they've reduced it. Just give one ifs and keep giving the criteria. The criteria can be anything, and then you can give the results also for that. Say logical test and then the value for it. The logical test and the value for it, like this. So this is ifs. Right. Next one, we'll see mathematical functions. And then in the next session, we'll see lookup formulas, because there are so many things to discuss on this lookup functions. But I'll finish this mathematical functions, which is very simple. And again, it is required as well. Let me open this. So in this mathematical functions, I'll tell what functions we have. We have round, then rounding off of the whole numbers, and then sum product. Coming to this round is actually used for rounding the values of decimal numbers. Let me go here. I'll say equals, say round. It asks for how many digits I need to round it off. Let me select this, comma, last one number of digits, I'll say 2 and close bracket. Now this number of digits what you have, see 0.3357, I want to round it off to the second decimal, that is for 2 digits. Let me say enter, see 12.3400. That means this 5 will get rounded off and it will go to the higher level. Let me make it as 3 here, and you can see that as 12.33 now, because the 3, when you round it off, it will be as 3 only. It will not increase the value. Say from 1 to 4, the value will be as is. From 5 to 9, the value will increase. See, I'll go here, I'll make it as 9, and this will become 12.34. But suppose if you want to have a fixed, say, rounding off of the values, then I can use this round up or round down. When I say round down, whatever the condition, whether it is 1 to 4 or 5 to 9, the values, the decimal values will always get increased. That is, round up, select this value, comma, I'll say 2 decimal. Now, even if I change this to 3, this will be 12.34. Let's go here. Say equals round down, and then I'll select this number, comma, it lasts for number of digits, I'll say 2. In this case, whatever the value is, it will always round to the lower value, that is 0.33. See, even if I give this as 9, still says 0.33. So round is actually used to round the values to the given decimal points. The round will take the value, according to that value it will round. Round up will round the value to the higher level, round down will round the value to the lower level. Fine. Next one, ceiling and floor. Ceiling means top, floor means bottom. So suppose if you want to round the whole number, say equals ceiling of this value. Now I can specify to what significance I should round it off. Let's say I want to round it off to the nearest 10th position. I'll say enter. See, 2876. The nearest 10th position is 2880. Now let me give 100 here. So it will go to 900. Suppose if I say nearest 25th position, see, again, so after the 76 is going to the nearest 25th position. If I say second position, so 2 will go to the next, that is 76 only. Suppose if this was 75, also it will go to 76. So I can specify the significance here. It can be anything. I'll say 5. See, if I make it as 76 now, it will go to the next one, that is 8, like this. So I can specify to what value I should round it off. Floor is the bottom, equals floor of this one, comma, I'll say round off to the nearest 10th lowest value. See, 2870. Now if I say 100, it will go to 2880. So here also I can specify, say 25, 5 or whatever. You can specify the number you want. See, the nearest 5th position. This is to round the whole numbers. Next function is product and sum product. Let's go and check this. Product is nothing but the multiplication, like what we have the sum. When I say sum, say equals sum of, suppose if I select this range, it will give me the addition, say 5 plus 2, 2 plus 6 is 13. When I say product, it will multiply, say 5 into 2 into 6, it should be 60, like this. So product is nothing but it is the multiplication, multiplying the range. But what is this? Sum and product. So when I say sum, it is adding, product is multiplying. Then what is a sum product? Let me explain this. Let's assume this, I have one array. Let's consider this as price and this one as quantity. So if you want to get the total results, I'll go here, the equals price multiplied by quantity. And now if I copy this down, see here it says 50, it says 6 here and 54, and the total will be this much. So to get the price and the total, I'm trying to do the multiplication and addition. So this function can be done by using one function, that is sum product. How to do that? Let me go here. I'll just put it here only. Equals sum product. It lasts for array 1. Let me select this, comma. It lasts for array 2. Select this, close the bracket, say enter. See, I'll get the same result. So instead of multiplying each row and then add, so what I'm doing is I'm using this sum product and I'm selecting the array. So how this actually work is, it will take array 1, array 2. It will multiply the first element of first array with first element of the second array, and then it will do the same thing for all the elements, and then it will add the value and it will give me the result here. So one thing you should keep in mind, that the array what you have here should be equal. That is, if I have 10 values in this array, here also should have 10 values in this. Suppose if I go here and then just have say 3 values in this first array and 2 values in the second array, see, I'll get the error. So when you're using this sum product, so be very careful that you are giving the proper number of arrays here, that is elements in each arrays, like this. So these are the functions which I want to discuss with you today. That is, we learned about the conditional formulas, and then we saw date functions. Also, we saw this mathematical functions. The next session, I'll take a lot of time in explaining you about the lookup functions. So only lookup functions I'll be taking in the next session, so that lot of examples, lot of things I'll be using to explain this lookup functions, because that is very important for analyzing your data, or doing a lot of reportings as well. Okay, so I'll stop here for the day.